Hey, how's it going, guys? MrBoss for the win here, and in today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we're going to be figuring out what happens if you don't save Charles Chatenay in Red Dead Redemption 2. So in case you guys have no idea who Charles Chatenay is, he is a French artist who actually draws some intimate paintings in the heart of Saint Denis. And he actually gives you the Stranger Side mission, The Artist Way, which you can start once you're in Chapter 4. So in order to understand better what happens when you don't save Charles Chatenay, I think it's nice to know a little bit of background on our character today and the story of Charles himself. So here's the first interaction you have with him upon meeting him in Chapter 4 in Doyle's Tavern.
Hey, buy me a drink, mon ami. Hello.
Sure, what you want?
Brandy.
2 brandies, bud.
It's $2 a glass.
Oh, better be good then.
It's the best.
Thank you. Santé. It's quite a country you're building here, eh?
Well, me personally?
I don't know. What do you do?
Mostly, I just shoot people.
How very American of you. I love it.
What do you do?
Oh, mostly I pose, I show off, I complain.
Oh, how very French.
I know. I am ridiculous. I have been all over the world. I have seen the sights, and I have discovered the one eternal truth that I am a pies, how do you say, old ass.
Asshole.
That too. That too.
Well, at least you have some self-knowledge. Where were you on your journey?
All the civilized world. Painting my little pictures, meeting the locals, you know.
You a painter?
No, I'm a whole ass. I thought we had covered this.
Yeah, but you paint.
Not according to salons at Paris. No, according to them, I cannot draw, I cannot paint, and I should go away. And so I went away.
You miss Paris?
That smelly, filthy place with old buildings and ghosts and shit and French people. I have that right here.
I guess so.
You know,
Arthur.
Charles. You know, Arthur? Don't believe in art. It's lies. Believe in women. They're the truth. Art is lies, but the vagina, that is truth. Breasts is truth. Art, for idiots.
If you say so.
Trust me, I've tried both. One is better. Much better. So, I must be boring you. But, here.
What is it?
It's just a little doodle. You know, entirely worthless unless you want to wipe your bottom with it. But I wanted to say thank you for the drinks.
Well, that's very kind, Charles.
No matter.
Good meeting you.
So Charles is certainly a funny character. Basically, the art critics in Paris claimed that he could not draw or paint, and they told him to pursue his dreams as far away as possible, which made him leave Paris in favor of Saint Denis. Now, you might think Charles Chatenay is a pretty decent fellow, but in a couple of days, I've actually got another video coming out that reveals an incredibly dark secret about what Charles Chatenay did and how that ruined someone's life. So be on the lookout for that in a couple of days, but after you interact with Charles the first time, and what's interesting is you spend $8 on him at the bar. Now, I've always wanted to experiment what would happen if you went into that with no money, because he literally asked you to buy him, I think it was like a whiskey or something like that, and Arthur gets 2, he gets 2, so it's $8 in total. What would happen if you didn't have the money? That might be another experiment we do in a future video. But from there, you essentially just need to wait 24 hours and then another Charles Chatenay mission marker will appear on your map. And this is where we can have the interaction of what happens if you don't save Charles Chatenay. So to set up the scene, Charles is actually inside of a house. I think it's with another person's wife, and the husband is outside viciously banging on the door. And he eventually gets Charles to come outside, where you have to make a decision if you want to intervene. So I'm going to show you what happens if you don't help him first, and then I'll show you what happens if you do intervene.
Don't talk about what you done to my wife!
Come on! What you need a wife for anyway?
You're a dead man!
So much for the new world, the new morality. Saint-Denis. It's the same old European triviality. Savagery, puritanism.
If you give him her pox, I'll come back and kill you twice! Say your last adieu!
I don't want to die! Please! Je suis désolé, I'm sorry! I'll do anything!
Well, you ain't no kind of man at all! Don't know what I was getting so vexed about.
Oh, merci, thank you.
But man or not, you'll get a bullet if I see you again.
Of course, merci. And merci to you too. A great good deal you did for me.
Come on. You got yourself into trouble. You got yourself out of
Oh,
it.
maybe, mon ami, maybe. If only the getting out of trouble was as much fun as getting into it.
Sometimes the getting in ain't so fun either.
Oh, then you're getting into the wrong kind of trouble, huh? I'm having a silly little show at the gallery. You'll come, huh?
We'll see.
So that was pretty funny, right? Basically, Charles just melts down in the front of the house, and the guy holding the gun eventually realizes, like, this guy isn't a man at all. You know, why am I pointing a gun at him? And then Charles basically looks to Arthur and says, like, thanks for your help in the most sarcastic way possible. It completely changes the entire cutscene. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, here's what happens if you actually help Charles Chatenay and you threaten or you tell the guy holding the gun to go away.
You're a dead man!
So much for the new world, the new morality. Saint-Denis. It's the same old European triviality.
Hey! Who the devil are you?
Far as you're concerned, I am the devil. Now get out of here.
This cad!
I said get out of here.
This is an outrage.
I don't quite know why I did that.
Because barbarity is boring, no?
It kept me amused some years.
You must go, my friend, before the gendarmerie arrive.
Hey, you gonna do right by this feller's wife?
You have done right by her. The little bird is free. I am an artist, cowboy. I must do what I feel. Look, I have an exhibit at the gallery. You come, see what I mean.
So as you guys saw there, it completely changes the entire cutscene. Now, the end result is exactly the same. Charles Chatenay lives, obviously, as you need to complete the rest of the quest line. But it is kind of funny, and it is nice to know that Rockstar went to that extra effort to put in a cutscene where you just choose to do nothing and watch him suffer at the fate of this guy who's clearly super pissed with him. Now, after that, the mission proceeds like normal. If you wait another 24 hours, you can actually visit Charles at his art exhibit, which in my opinion triggers one of the most funny cutscenes of all time. Because in case you don't know, Charles essentially just paints intimate paintings of other people, kind of without their consent. And when all those people are invited to the art gallery, they become outraged at him. So as you guys see here, it is broken into total chaos, and Arthur essentially has to save the day by beating everyone up. And you and Charles need to make a quick escape. And he says that he is going to lay low for a few days after going into someone else's house. Now, I tried to enter all of these houses by using the like lantern and pistol glitch. There's nothing inside. Charles is not inside. He simply vanishes after the mission is over. In fact, there's nothing even inside of the doors themselves. It's just like a little box. And then a couple days later, I think around 48 hours in game, you can meet Charles one last time, who will actually need some help escaping the city. So the last bit of this mission is pretty fun. Essentially, Arthur has to escort Charles throughout the city, avoiding people who he has wronged. There's even a part of the mission where Arthur has to kiss Charles Chatenay to sort of blend in with his disguise, which Arthur definitely does not like at all. The entire time, all of the citizens of Saint Denis think Charles is like this really good-looking girl, and they keep catcalling him and whistling him, and it's so awkward. It's one of the funniest things ever. And eventually you get Charles to his boat where he says goodbye for a final time. Now, a couple days later, if you actually go to the post office, you can find a letter from Charles where he describes his new home and informs Arthur on what a good friend he was, and he writes how he is finally free and can now paint whatever he likes. But that right there is the story of what happens if you don't save Charles Chatenay in Red Dead Redemption 2. You sort of get a secret cutscene that completely changes the dialogue of that conversation, which I think is really fun. However, I don't want you guys to feel bad for Charles Chatenay because, as I explained earlier, I've got a video coming up in a couple days that really paints him as a terrible person, something you might not have known about. So stay tuned for that if you are interested. But if you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.